I did that just for you, Gates. I did it honestly, just for you.
It reminds me, I don't know about you, Gabs, that theme tune on the intro just reminds me of like a 1980s sort of like quiz by Bob Monkhouse or someone like that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Oh dear. Right then, let's see who's in the chat. Peach is in at 4:30 Canadian time. JAK to D. I'm still buzzing, my G. Honestly. Duke said, morning. Meeting of one to most you beautiful people on the other. Sorry, I couldn't come on. No worries, Duke. No worries at all. Right then. So we will start with you, Jazz. How are you feeling? Has your excitement level dropped from last night?
Very excited. Great game. Yeah, one of the best atmosphere, if not the best, since I've been going past, 3 years now as a season ticket holder at the OS. And yeah, it went perfectly. Lots of goals, good one-touch football. And even before the game started, there was a buzz around the ground that Gatesy will probably agree with. People are really in good spirits. And a part of that was down to being back after such a long time. And another part of that is that we had such a great season last season. So we've carried on, really. So am I surprised that we've won 4-1? Well, you've got to remember, we did these guys twice last season as well. And I'll go into a bit more detail, but you could feel, perhaps looking back, that Leicester weren't that confident from the kickoff because we battered them twice last season. And we're making a name for ourselves in the game with some of the players. But yeah, great night. Very tiring. Didn't come in like Gatesy probably till 1 at night. The train didn't quite stop where I live, so I had to catch a cab to get in. And I still stayed up for another half an hour because I wanted to watch it on Sky. And we'll go into some of the comments the pundits did. But great night. And met Gatesy for the first time as well. So, yeah, fantastic night. Yeah.
Just one thing before we get our next guest in, Gatesy. Did you get held up in a queue trying to get into the stadium?
No, I got in quite early, in fairness. I mean, to be fair to the club, it does say on the ticket that they advise getting into the ground an hour before, which I got into the ground around about 7 o'clock. And the getting into, because obviously you've got the ring of steel around the perimeter of the stadium. We was on Hammer's chat boat for about an hour before. We left there about 6:30. And by the time we got to the ring of steel, if you will, it was about 6:45. Got through, they waved their magic wand over us, patted us down, went through. There wasn't really anyone there at that time sort of queuing up. It was straight in, straight through. Walked to where my turnstile is, entrance A, and it was a bit of a queue. By this time it's about 7 o'clock, thereabouts. Got in without any real fuss, but I've seen photographs latterly of this throng of people trying to get in I think 15 minutes before kickoff. I like to say, in fairness to the club, it does say on tickets, but whether people actually read it or not, I don't know. It did actually give the advice to get there an hour before. So
I mean, this is the picture that stuck with me. 15 minutes before kickoff, this was put on Twitter last night, and that's all the way back to the Ring of Steel, past the stadium store. It's a big queue, but hopefully, people that will get resolved next week. Right then, let's bring Andy in. Andy, how are you feeling?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Shouldn't have had a shot. Shouldn't have had a couple of shots last night, but we won.
We won, and guess what, lads? We're top of the league.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We are top of the league.
Boris, if you're watching, COVID's going a little bit mental at the minute, so you're going to have to lock the country down till about May next year. Which Premier League might as well just hand us a trophy, yeah.
Yeah. It's like DRS. It's like, do it now. There you go. We're first.
But we can't win when there's fans in the stadium. It's toxic, isn't it?
Oh yeah, toxic. Yeah.
Well, that was what I was going to say, because last night we played a massive part in that victory. I really do. The atmosphere was arguably the best that I've ever seen at the Olympic Stadium, and I've been going since it opened. We need to recreate that, because last season there was an awful lot of criticism, as Miles's just alluded to, that came our way. Oh yeah, but this is happening without the fans giving them the stick and this, that, and the other. Well, we fans, us, me, Jazz, Milesy, you when you go, Jake, anybody else that goes in. I'm not saying we can't criticize the team when they're playing poorly, but what I'm saying is we need to give them our full support. We need my voice is gone, and we need to do this every time. Come away and have your voice in pieces, because we don't want to have the accusation leveled at us this season. See, fans have gone in and your results have dropped. We don't want that. We've got to make sure that accusation can't be leveled at West Ham fans by fans of other clubs.
Yeah, let's just talk about a few players quickly. I mean, candidates for man of the match, Jazz. You've got Antonio, Benrahma, Fornals. Just talk about Fornals for a minute. How good was he last night?
Well, that first goal, when I look back on it on Sky, because you've got to bear in mind, when you're live at the ground, you don't quite have the best angle sometimes. So that's why I always like to go home and watch it on the screen. And, oh, my God, he even started the move, and Benrahma found him really, really well. And that finish was obviously some things were aimed at him last season, that you're getting in those areas, which is, we're told, is always a good start. So if you're getting chances you're missing, and we're always told you can turn that around, it's when you're not getting chances. And this team creates so many chances. That's why sometimes with Antonio, we think he can score many more than he even does. Again, I mean, yeah, for me, Fornals, that first goal, the finish, that set the whole tone running. And obviously he had a part to play in the sending off, which we probably didn't want to play. And luckily came away with two of his legs still intact. But for me, I think it's hard picking man of the match, which is a good thing, isn't it? I mean, Benrahma, Fornals, Antonio, all three of them. So for me, it's quite tricky to pick one, really. But all of the players were really, really good last night. And if we didn't let that one goal in, it was a near perfect performance, wasn't it, really?
Yeah. Andy, the thing I liked about it is when our midfield are now scoring goals. Fornals is scoring, Benrahma's scoring. We've got more goals coming from different areas of the pitch that we didn't have last season, Andy.
Yeah, I think I know. Sorry if it seems like we're referring back to last season, but I know Souček and Soufal were the first players going in on their days off, and I've heard it's literally pretty much everyone. I think the only one not is probably Antonio and Mark Noble, because probably one, Mark Noble's age, and two, probably Antonio's hamstrings may go. But you can just tell that Fornals has just been working on his finishing. He scored a couple of goals like that. Wolves away was a prime example where he's late run into the box. But I like Fornals in that number 10, because Benrahma, they cover each other, but Benrahma is just so dangerous. He just takes two players out of the game, same as Antonio. But no, I'm buzzing, and I thought it could have been more. I'm not going to lie. Kasper Schmeichel got like a 7 out of 10, and he conceded 4 goals. So that just proves how good our shooting boots were.
No, definitely. Antonio, then Gates. I'm going to come to you, Mikel Antonio. Let's put the weird and wonderful celebration to the side for a second. It was a mixed game for him. He could do something fantastic and then do something not so fantastic. It's just Mikel Antonio. What a game for him.
Listen, you can't knock the guy. I mean, this is a guy that once upon a time was deployed as a right back. This was a guy that came in from Championship Nottingham Forest, and probably most fans had never even heard of him, not really sort of got too much knowledge of the guy. And he's now our all-time record goal scorer in Premier League history. He's just gone past a club legend in Paolo Di Canio. I would argue that possibly he has now elevated himself into that same category of legend status, simply because, as I say, there's no one above him as far as Premier League goal scoring is concerned. So if
and it's only going to get more.
If he's not a legend, then
yeah. Oh, I agree. Right then, Daya had a late night last night.
Morning, lads. Let me find my glasses.
Oh my God! Late night last night.
Oh, got a bit of a sore head this morning. We're fucking top of the league, though, and we come on you.
That is a very good point. That's a very good point. Jazz, in terms of the defence last night, did you see any times where you thought, "Oh, we're backs against the wall and we look like we're under pressure here"?
Not at all. Like I said, from the kickoff, I felt Leicester were a little bit scared of us, especially, like I said, we did the double over them and we kind of thrashed them, really, in most of the 2 games last season. And I just felt they just weren't not the races, and that's a lot to do with us. We've got such a settled team, and the confidence is the highest I've seen in this team for years. You could see all the players, even Ben Ramos, come out of his shell this season and dominating games that we wanted him to. Antonio, funny thing with Antonio is we all watched the Newcastle game, and he's having a game of 2 halves. The Newcastle first half, he mentions that David had a right go at him, and we were in the crowd watching. He was quite wasteful, and second half smashed it. And again last night, a game of 2 halves. First half, he could have got a couple in, but just missed out. Wrong decision making, and then second half, completely different player again. So I'm happy to see that the manager's halftime sort of talks are sort of working for the players, and it's kind of waking them up a bit, really. But yeah, I don't think Leicester didn't really offer much. If I look at the stats, they had 1 shot on target against our 7, and then Leicester 5 total shots. We had 19, and I thought that 1 goal they got was against a run of play. They didn't really deserve it. Yeah, but you never know. 2-1 down, and we thought, ooh, got to keep an eye on this one. But gladly, we got it over the line quite comfortably in the end. Yeah,
definitely. Let's talk about this red card then. Gatesy, to you. I thought this used VAR very well. What was your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, in real time, I've got to be honest, and obviously don't forget, I'm in the nosebleed section, so I'm as far away from the pitch as you can get and still be in the stadium. I couldn't tell in real time whether it was or wasn't. Obviously, then when you see it on the big screen and you're like, oh, and I saw photographs latterly, and it's like, oh mate, that's a leg breaker. And I'm actually quite shocked, because obviously Kasper Schmeichel, the Leicester captain, comes out and he's remonstrating with the referee when he's brandishing the red card. And it's like, well, seeing the pictures, it's like it's a clear red. It's a potential career-ending challenge. I'm not for 1 minute suggesting that Ayoze Perez did it with any malice, but because someone said to me after the game, oh, but there wasn't any intent. Well, I'm sorry, but in the rules of association football, if you have endangered the safety of your opponent, whether you meant it or not, it's complete irrelevance. That is a red card.
Yeah. Andy?
Yeah, so I'm at the other end, which was a pleasant night for me, because normally West Ham don't shoot in at my end. I'm next to the away fan, so I had a field day, obviously, with the goals up there, so I was obviously quite far away, and I was just, you could sort of see the reaction, because I saw it on the screen, which is obviously far away. I'm seeing the screen at the other end, and when you see it, but the thing is, what I don't understand, and I think Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher made a very good point. Michael Oliver's right there, and he didn't even give a foul.
Yeah.
That's what's worrying. I know VAR comes to the rescue, but Michael Oliver's right there. Is he just waiting for VAR or not? It's a bit weird.
Yeah,
I think they got the backup now of VAR, don't they? To be fair, you know, I know we all knock refs, right? And we saw great reffing in the Euros. We saw some really poor reffing in the Premiership last season, didn't we? But I think it happens all so fast, doesn't it? Right, to be fair to the ref. But now they know they got that valve. Something, if there's a nasty tackle like that, they know it's going to get picked up, don't they?
Yeah, it's certainly working better this season, isn't it? Certainly,
yeah.
It is so far.
Yeah,
it's been, well, especially in our favour as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Newcastle has done us a favour, isn't it? But that was a shocking tackle last night, and anyone who says he didn't mean it is talking rubbish, because he had time to get that foot out of the way and not make the contact that he did. He had plenty of time to do that.
Intense and irrelevance, though, Daya, isn't it? Whether he meant it, whether or not, it could be his best mate for all I know.
That could have been Fornal's career over. It was that bad. Right?
Yeah,
we've seen. Remember, Jakey would have seen it in the old days. David Boost, for instance, that challenge.
Yeah.
That wasn't far off that. Like, it's like, you know, you were waiting for the boat to come out, weren't you?
Yeah.
It
was shocking. And people say Leicester didn't play well last night. We didn't let them play. Yeah. That was the difference. We didn't let them play. Our off the ball positioning was fantastic last night. Absolutely brilliant. You look at the positions, every player, when Leicester had the ball, where our players were, that's what stopped Leicester playing.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant.
I just want to bring to your attention what Andrew says. What's that Jesse bloke's name? Now, I've seen this a lot on social media last night and this morning, and it slightly worries me, in my opinion. We're still going to need somebody like Jesse Lingard, because let's not forget, not every game's going to be like that, in my opinion. Yes, it was fantastic, but not every game's going to be like that. We've got 50-plus games this season. We can't rely on that front four. Sometimes
don't worry, he'll be here by Monday. He'll be here by Monday, JT. You just calm down, son.
Here's the question then. Jazz, do we need Jesse Lingard?
We need him, and we need 3, 4, 5 more. So we shouldn't rest on our laurels. It's a long season. The first 11 can match most of the league, in my opinion. They're very, and sometimes you don't appreciate what you've got. So when I was talking to my son, I said, you imagine what it would cost to have them centre mid like Rice and Souček. You're talking 170, 160, 180 million. Then you've got Bowen. He must be 60 million now with Klopp looking at him. You've got Benrahma. His value's shot up already. So we do amazing players that any other team would want, really. So, yes, we need Lingard and many, many more through the door. And another good thing is, I'm not sure if you saw David Goldham done a Twitter after the game. He was over the moon. And I think if you're an owner this morning and you wake up to that result, you definitely would want to get the money out and help the manager. If that doesn't change their mind, then I don't know what would, So I think it's hopefully that results come at a good time. And with a week to go, yeah.
Yeah, see, Jazz, I said that yesterday on the fan cam with Nicky, because Nicky asked me that question. And it's like that these last 2 games, obviously, they've been on telly. So other players, they'll be watching it, highlights, the likes of Origi, Zuma, hearing the crowd at Newcastle, the bouncing, the team playing well. We've got the advantage now where the window shuts on the 31st. It's not after the first game. So this could be the great start, what we need of players coming to us because they want to come and play for us.
And the turning point in the transfer window as well, there's someone like, obviously we know we're dealing with Man United at the minute, right? Is with a performance like that last night, Man United watchers think, oh, you can play the game. Well, we don't really need you, Lingard. Keep shouting, not to Lingard himself, but Man United, right? Man United, we don't really need him. Look, we're top of the bloody league here, right? Do you want to offload him or not? The tables will turn on the bidding now, because this Man United are holding out for more money at the moment, right? That's what's going on, right? So now it's like, well, if you ain't going to sell him to us, don't worry about it. We're going to get somebody else. We're top of the league. We've already got this. Come on, what's Antonio worth, eh? He's got to be 90 million. He's our Lukaku, isn't he? I think he's as good as Lukaku, I do. They both got the touch of Lukaku. Right? Say again.
There was shades of Lukaku last night, I thought, personally.
Shades, Jake. Shades. He's better than Lukaku, mate. Lukaku and Antonio are very, very similar players. I'll tell you what, Antonio's better in Lukaku, turning his man. Our Lukaku, Antonio, let's call him, right? Yeah. He turns his man better. But both of them have got a touch of a rapist, right? They have. They're both of their ball control is not the best, right? But they're charging balls, a pair of them, and they're out-and-out goal scorers. And they will miss. Antonio had some right wides last night, didn't he, as well?
Yeah.
But yeah, he did. But so does Lukaku. You watch the two of them, there's not much difference in them. I'd say Lukaku's 95 million. We know that Chelsea just paid it. And Antonio's worth 96.
I love it.
Could Lukaku play right back? No. Antonio can. Can he play on the wing? Lukaku? No. Antonio can.
Oh,
he's class. He's absolute class. And he's going to go down. Well, he is a club legend. Mind you, he's beaten Di Canio's record already, but that's not hard because Di Canio didn't like to play away, did he? He was always on the sick list when we went away. Antonio don't mind getting on the bus. So that's the truth of that one, though, isn't it? Come on.
Tune into Forge for Mine at 10 o'clock for Mr. Gates's vlog. Final question. Make sure I'll whack the link in the chat. Make sure you go and watch that. Final question to you all. Final thoughts, and can we keep up this form for Crystal Palace next Saturday, Jazz?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. I think we've got to stop thinking like sometimes we used to say, oh, we can't get the results against the teams we should be beating, and we proved that last season. Then some people said we're not going to play good football under David, but we'll win. That's all completely gone out the window now. So everything is just working. Great one-touch football, lots of goals, lots of chances, and we're beating nearly all the teams in the league. So I'm going to say yes. Yeah, I think. Having said that, before yesterday's game, I thought it'd be a 2-2 draw, but I think we've got to look positive now. And Palace is a team that hopefully we should be beating. And let's see what happens. I mean, it'd be brilliant to win the first three, wouldn't it? Amazing. And yeah, let's carry on. And hopefully no one picked up any knocks last night, which is key. And we'll be able to put out the same team for the third game in a row, I think. But like I said, I was looking at the form. We won the last two of last season. We were unbeaten in pre-season. We won the first two this season. And someone had a stat saying, if you go back a year, I think after Man City, we've got the most wins. It's just looking good in all departments, really, yeah.
Gatesy, but before you do, there is the link to the vlog, and make sure you smash the like button. Come on then, Milesy. What are we on? We're on 16 likes with 28 watching, 29 watching. What are we going for, Andy?
34.
Ooh.
Lewis Palmer, his old number. Legend.
34. Smash that like button. Gatesy, final thoughts, and can we keep up this form?
Of course, we can. It requires, obviously, luck. It requires us to not get injured to key personnel for extended periods of time. And it requires us as supporters, as I said earlier, it requires us to play our part. We've got to recreate last night's atmosphere every game this season, because then there can be no excuse. There can be then none of the opposition fans and pundits and all the rest of them, you know, levelling the accusation that we are a toxic element and we are what's holding the team back. No, we need to be supporting them and driving them on so that accusation is not levelled at us.
Just to answer Gary's question, Gary says, where were you yesterday? I wasn't at the ground. I'll be there for the Palace game, though. Yeah, I was sat at home, unfortunately, watching and hearing the electric atmosphere that was inside there last night. Sounded incredible. Andy, then, final thoughts.
No, I think the key is, mate, is teams are watching us, and I know Palace have not got off to the best of starts under Patrick Vieira, but I just don't want the team to be complacent, and we just go out and perform at the same level of what we have. Don't get me wrong; it's a less days to recover, but they're professional football players, and realistically, they should be able to put in the effort. And I'm looking forward to a Saturday 3:00 game. I can't remember the last time I went to I know the Southampton, the last game what we went to, but the ones before, I can't remember the last time we have. We've got to take advantage of this because it'll be Thursday, Sunday, or Thursday, Monday after when we get in Europa.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. And I've seen if results go, wrong our way, we are going to be top of the league until about 2:30 next Saturday. Sink it in.
Love it.
Sink it in.
Have won 3 consecutive Premier League games at the start of the season. Does anybody know? I don't think
They said 2 in 22 years ago. We won our opening games 22 years ago.
I remember winning.
Yeah,
was it a long time ago?
Yeah, Barnsley, wasn't it? When we reviewed, it was Barnsley and someone else. I can't remember.
Tottenham.
Yeah,
we beat. Yeah,
we won. I was in games.
We won the first 5 in 1983-84. That's what I remember. First 5 under Lyle, that season.
Definitely. Gary says the Antonio chant was magic. Oh, it sounded magic. James, Fornals man of the match performance. Benny scores again. Bowen, work rate class. Antonio beast mode. We look a solid unit and destroyed FA Cup holders. There we go.
Everyone's
James on your review last night. We are coming for the cup. # we are coming for the cup. And Daya, to finish off, your final thoughts.
I think the key now, mate, going to Crystal Palace is Moyes. It's down to Moyes really now to make sure the players don't get complacent. And it's always hard. It was a fantastic performance last night. So you've got to make sure that your whole squad doesn't get complacent going into Crystal Palace. You've got to fire them up again, get them back out there. And Palace have got off to a bad start, really, under Vieira, and they've looked bad so far. So on paper, we should give them a good tonking. But this is football, and let's remember this is West Ham, right? So, but fingers crossed, we don't fall back in old habits. And but yeah, Sellers part, we should give them a good tonking, mate, on paper. But yeah. It's just it's down the Moyes.
Any rumours of anyone coming in? Have you heard anything?
I ain't got out of bed yet this morning, mate. I didn't celebrate last night. I went over my 1,000 subs, so I cracked my bottle of wine open after about 8 cans of cider. And
oh my god!
And I'm struggling in bed at the minute with my hip. I don't know if Jake Tower fell over.
Oh god!
All right.
So yeah, but no, I haven't heard anything more this morning. Lingard will be here, mate. I'm sure he'll be here by the end of the transfer window. I think Zuma. I wouldn't be surprised to hear Zuma. Normally, when it comes down to personal terms, right? It's not normal. Once the clubs have agreed the price, which West Ham and Chelsea have done, right? Personal terms are normally grabbed. I'm getting more nervous the longer it doesn't get announced, because he'd be haggling. And
see, it's the thing, though. It's the thing. Wouldn't it be wise if it's done to announce it today? The fan base is absolutely buzzing, and then to announce it some point today.
Yeah, but they'll announce it as soon as they can, because as soon as they get it over the line. The worrying thing on the Zuma one is only in my opinion, is the player's commitment. If he still can't agree personal terms, he's trying to demand too much. Right? Me, I suppose we see it from a fan's view. We all think, "Oh, didn't you watch that last night, Zuma? You've got to be part of that." Do you know what I mean? But obviously, he's thinking it's all on the money, innit? It's all on the money. But I think they get it. And the Zuma one, they're getting it over the line. I'm pretty sure. We do need a centre half. Although Craig Dawson was awesome last night, to be fair to him, one bad pass, that's all he made, wasn't it?
Well, what can I say? People doubted him last night. I doubted him. Sorry, Craig.
You're going to put him up, Jake? You're going to put him up? You like to put him up, don't you?
I'll put it up on the screen. Right, just before we go, let's whack him up on screen. There he is. There's Big Craig. There is Big Craig Dawson. He's absolutely buzzing.
He had a good game. Yeah, he had a great game last night. He made one shocking pass. Right, he passed the ball to the Leicester player, basically, literally. But that's the trouble with Dawson. Luckily, we got away with that one. He does make those errors, but come on. But we do need a centre half, and I'm hoping Zuma will go over the line today or tomorrow. Gates is gone for getting another proper job, has he? Yeah. In the fridge, Gates.
The tablet did an update and it kicked me out of Chrome. So
right, here we go. This is a This is a complete. What's the word? The transition over to Forge from Iron now, because we're going to say goodbye. And the Forge from Iron, was it a vlog? Gatesy premieres right now. There's the link. Go and give it a watch. Thank you very much to Jazz, Andy, Gatesy, and a quite drunken hungover Daya.
No, not drunk and hungover. That's a bit of an exaggeration, Jake. I'm on the sick, mate, with my hip. That's my excuse. Molesy's a bit quiet today, isn't he? What's he working there? Is he?
Yeah, working.
Yeah. I've had a fun morning.
You don't look the happiest there, Molesy, son.
Oh, mate, I'm buzzing. I had a couple of shots when I went back to the pub after the game, but I'm a bit stressed with work. But I thought I'll come on and say my views and. Obviously, talk to you, boy.
Never let stress get you, Molesy. Never let the stress get you, mate. Right over it, son. Right over it.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Right, here we go. We're going to end it there. Head over to the Forge from Iron vlog, and we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys. Come on, you Irons, and guess what? We are top of that league.
Come on, you Irons.
Cheers, guys.
Take care.